to a common prostitute. Be composed. Be at ease with me. I am Walt Whitman, liberal and lusty as nature. Not till the sun excludes you do I exclude you. Not till the waters refuse to glisten for you and the leaves to rustle for you do my words refuse to glisten and rustle for you. My girl, I appoint with you an appointment, and I charge you that you make preparation to be worthy to meet me. And I charge you that you be patient and perfect till I come. Till then, I salute you with a significant look that you do not forget me. Walt Whitman.
All you motherfuckers and son of a bitches too can go to hell in any motel as long as you can screw. Now that I'm dying and in a bad fix, just remember I got this way from sucking and fucking and turning too damn many tricks.
On the track.
Tell me I'm the only one. The only one. The only one. Tell me I'm the only one.
Hello, my name is Forrest D. Martin.
And I'm Paula J. Parker, and we're married.
Yes, we are.
I like that. I thought it was a phenomenal poem. I just I want a nice poem to start, our session. And I opened the book. Now, I don't know if it was Walt talking to me or just saying this is a nice one. I found it interesting that Walt Whitman was a lover of lascivious women.
Walt Whitman was out there buying pussy and writing poems.
I see. Oh, too. So you think that Walt was just a freak of the week? Just writing?
He buying pussy, writing poems. It obviously worked for him. He's one of the, renowned American poets in poetry history or literature. So, hey, if that worked for him, I'm not saying it would work for everybody.
So he's a Gemini.
Okay, so freak of the week.
Freak-a-leak. Great with words.
Probably had
Definite
plenty of money.
Wordsmith. I'm like, what is his, he's just a poet. I think we put so much on these poets, why? And I'm guilty of it myself. I guess I think Walt Whitman, I don't think man, or just in general. And I think people also do that with our Lord and Savior, Jesus. We just decide he's not man when he always will be man of God, not just God. He was also man. And I did that with Walt. Why wouldn't Walt Whitman want to buy some pussy? I mean,
now, do you think Walt
is
writing to a particular, one particular prostitute he just got his nose open for, or just prostitutes in general?
I'm going to say prostitutes in general.
Okay.
It says his own life came under scrutiny for his presumed homosexuality.
Oh, so he out there buying male prostitutes.
I don't know.
He ain't buying pussy.
I don't know what he was buying.
Buying penis. what was his reign of what era was his writing
Well, he's
popular?
most famous for
During what
writing "Oh
times?
Captain, My Captain,"
A lot of shit. He was famous for a lot of
and
shit.
he wrote it on when Abraham Lincoln died. So he was very moved by Lincoln's death.
Okay, so no, okay.
His funeral was a public event. Um,
All the gays showed up. All the gay prostitutes showed up.
he's
Stood
basically
in line.
been called America. Um, Mary Smith Whitall, who we've all heard of, Costello argued,
So all these gay prostitutes showed up at his funeral and wanted to speak and shit.
you
Talking about
you cannot
Walt used
really
to come pick me up on fuck outside.
you cannot really understand America without Walt Whitman.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, he wrote something called Leaves of Grass.
Yeah, that's one of his famous ones.
Yes. He has expressed that civilization up to date, as he would say, and no student of the philosophy of history can do without him. He's America's poet. He's called America. So, I mean, I don't know. It says he was presumed to be gay. This poem isn't saying um, female or male. It's
It's
just
to
saying
a
to
common.
a common prostitute. So, I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with a prostitute. I mean, it's literally he's talking. He on them hoes
Yeah, this
clearly.
ain't no. He wants you to figure out some shit
But no,
with his
I'm
word
thinking.
play.
No,
He telling you he out there
I'm on them
buying
hoes.
penis.
I agree. He didn't say penis. He
But
said
he's gay.
he said presumed. It did.
Who is he?
Whoever wrote this
Yeah,
this
they just trying to
this
be. They didn't want
it said.
you to know that America's all-time poet was gay back then. You know, they didn't want you to know fucking
Well, why would
Rock
that?
Hudson, an American actor, was all gay out, trying to keep that shit from him until he died of AIDS. I'm just saying, in that era, they were not going to say that Walt Whitman was gay publicly. That's
Well,
why he had to probably hide the shit and go buy prostitute dudes
so his
out in
work
D.C.
was controversial at the time. I obviously I just didn't know, and that's interesting. That when I hear Walt Whitman, I don't think Freak a Leak, Whole Cake.
I think of an old white man. Old white man with boring ass fucking poems.
I think it's not that boring. That poem I just read
Yeah,
was
all
not
right.
that boring.
What book
I
did you
haven't
find that poem
in
in?
American poets.
What year was that book published? Please
A
let the
long
people
time
know.
ago. That's not the point I'm making. I have theater books here. I have books of poetry that, this
Then,
book is
all
just
right.
American
But
poets.
what I'm saying is, then when we learned about Walt Whitman at school,
They
of course
didn't
they're not going
include
to
that he
include to a
was
common
right.
prostitute. They're not
They
going to give a
right.
biography of him being a presumed
Exactly.
homosexual.
I
They didn't teach
agree.
us any of that shit.
I agree. And that is what I'm saying. There's one part of me that is saying that we're all prostitutes.
No.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
There's no way that you can say that you're not.
I'm not a
I've been
fucking
having this
prostitute.
this debate with people since I was in college. Either you're in life, either you're the prostitute or the pimp in all situations. Just figure out which one and you know how to play your hand. That's just what it is. We all, for whatever reasons, have to prostitute ourselves at some point to get ahead, to survive, just to be. One pimps us daily. That's our son. Our relationship is not being pimped because we have an even balance. I bring in the money, you do everything else.
I bring in some money.
Yeah, but the majority of the stuff that you do is brain stuff. I do all the I guess emotional, theatrical, because I'm an actor. So I'm bringing that in, and you're doing all the brain stuff, in the house, and I'm good with that. Like that to me balances out. But when you don't pull your end, it doesn't balance out. And I do feel like I'm getting pimped. So you do more, you acknowledge that, and you do more so that I don't have to feel that way. That's my point. Life is an even exchange, and prostitution is an even exchange. And it's not that I'm saying we're all prostitutes on the literal sense. I'm saying every interaction entails an exchange. Sometimes you're on the top of that exchange, sometimes you're on the bottom of that exchange. So, all I'm saying is, Walt was, because he sounds like a freak a leak to me, was probably talking to the whole prostitution population. Like, don't feel bad about yourself because you happen to serve this people. You are in an industry that I appreciate. This is Walt speaking. And I am not the only one who appreciates it. So when you walk down the street, don't put your head down, because I'm going to be making an appointment. But let's keep in mind, Walt is dead. He ain't gonna make no appointments with nobody no time soon. Let's see how Walt died. 'Cause if he say syphilis, y'all might want to find another job.
But he passed away at 72. That's pretty old for back then.
Yeah, that's very old for now.
Yeah, well, I won't say that.
That's a great point. Well, back then,
of
definitely.
course.
Now, too, with brothers dying at 45. God
Yeah,
forbid.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Just had to say the age I am, goddammit.
I'm sorry. I thought that was the age that our brother just passed away.
Who?
Um, you know.
Floyd?
Yeah. Right. I mean, whatever he was doing it healthfully, people. Healthfully. I mean, these prostitutes probably they better come with the new age because ain't nobody out there on the streets nowadays. Now I'm come to think of it, ain't nobody out there buying no puss. The streets is clear. That's one job that you know is really in a hurt right
No,
now.
it's not. It's all on camera.
Now,
It's online.
but what about the ones that's old school?
You gotta get with the times.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They better get with the
Still out
times
there.
because you ain't even got to touch nobody nowadays, ladies. You could be on camera playing with your puss. You could be, y'all saw Doja last week. You don't have to be out there getting syphilis and corona or anything. It's a whole new day. You don't even have to do anything. You could be with your boyfriend. You could put a mask on and you could go for it. And don't be thinking somebody got a mask on. It's because I have a friend who does Sims with a mask on, and that you see that is not me. Just so you know, I am making it quite clear. I play somebody I know does with the mask on. But I'm just saying, cause
Somebody you know with the mask on does what?
plays
Porno
Sims.
movies or
No,
play the Sims?
plays the Sims. Really? Okay, y'all. So I'm just saying, you know, you don't have to go out there, right? Aren't there other ways like they do it with people on the internet nowadays?
It's all online.
They have dates nowadays, don't they?
Online?
They have dates
Look, when
online.
you saying don't they like I'm dating online or something?
No,
what the
I'm
fuck
not
these
trying to
folk
set you up.
doing online?
Really, sort of
In
I
a
was,
date-
y'all. Sort
in
of
a
I was.
dating shit?
Okay,
What the hell you
well,
talking about? I don't know about that shit.
I don't really know either, but I know I've seen a movie with this little black girl. It's shout out to the movie, and it's maybe got a girl's name, and it was not a lot of money invested, and I was interested because it said it was a black movie, and it said that she was a prostitute online, and it showed it said she was a prostitute online, so I watched it. And I ended up learning a lot about the prostitute online game because she was black and she was the prostitute online and she joined this prostitute online service and they said some racist things to her and she complained And the man was like, well, oh well, some people get off with saying racist stuff to people. And she was like, well, that is not my kink. I did not sign up to be girl six up in this mug. This is not my kink, boo. I'm not going crazy for no freaking phone call. So the man was like, well, you could go. And they was like, you could go. And so she went, and she went with these two ladies who were prostitutes on TV. They were porn stars.
Like they made movies and tapes and shit.
Right.
Right.
They were porn
And
stars.
she just stripped on camera.
Right.
She was by herself in front of a camera.
Right. But sometimes she would be with other ladies.
Right.
And I think maybe she was with the guy. I don't know. I don't remember, but I do remember her like sometimes having like, cause I'm confusing like a couple movies, cause I was curious, not cause maybe I was just curious. I wasn't gonna do it. I was just myself. I just be curious about stuff sometimes. So I just wanted to know what was going on in the world. So I watched a couple of them. And there was another one that really did well. I don't remember what that one was. This was a white girl's experience doing it. And she went crazy. She was talking to herself in the mirror, and the mirror was talking back to her. And I don't know, but that baby just went crazy doing it. But anyway, so the black girl showed me that there was racism. So she left those people, and they paid her the ladies, the two ladies that ran the other spot that were porn stars. They paid more for their little hookup
Because they were porn
than
stars.
right. They understood the value and the worth,
Mm-hmm.
and they were willing to share the wealth. So she was going with them, and then the other people who were like, oh no, and he could say if he want to say, white people, blah blah blah. He could say it.
Did I watch that with you?
Does it sound familiar?
It sounds familiar, but
Then you watched it with me,
no. But see, it was like a movie about porn chicks on the webcam,
right?
but they ain't show no titties.
Right.
They went the whole like the. So
See, I don't
it's
pay
so-
attention
it's
to
so
stuff like
fucking
that.
forget-
I didn't even notice they didn't show no
How
titties.
can you have a movie about strippers and chicks stripping in front of the webcam and do a whole film and not now nipple or titty was shown?
And
They just
that's
talking
a
about
good
the
thing
shit.
for y'all too, ladies.
So
Doja
I
didn't
forget
show
it-
no
I
titty
forgot about
that
I forgot
time.
about the fucking movie.
You forgot the movie because it didn't show. If it had
Yeah,
shown some
it-
titties, you'd have remembered the movie.
I have watched
Well, you
it.
are a child of the 80s.
I have watched it.
Let's
I
talk
remember what
about
you're talking
you
about.
are a child of the 80s because
Yeah.
movies from the 80s, we're showing a lot of our movies that we grew up on. That's
Mhm.
the 80s. And they are very, very interesting movies from the 80s.
Turn your phone off.
I
For the
can't
show.
turn it off when I need to
This is,
look stuff up.
hold
Movies
up.
from the
Give me a
80s.
second.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Okay.
Movies from the 80s are, when you really go back and look at them now, y'all, they're very, very cheesy. Like there's this homoerotic thing that's really, really sexy about the majority of them. Like even our rock stars, like from Kiss to Eddie Murphy, they all had this homoerotic thing going on, that long hair, feathered. Like that guy from She's My Cherry Pie, his feather was better than Farrah Fawcett's. Not better than, but just as nice. You know what I mean? They wore hair
When I think of the Vedas, I don't think homoerotic. I
You-
think titty friendly horror / comedy.
So
movies.
eyeliner for rock stars, horror. But if you see
Mm.
eyeliner on a dude walk down the street, it's what?
Gay.
Okay, so I'm confused.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about in horror movies. There weren't no dudes in horror movies wearing eyeliner.
We were just watching The Lost Boys last night. You didn't see the eyeliner, babe? They had their hair feathered. They had their tight leather. They had their rock on. They had their t-shirts cut right below the boob.
right.
That's so homoerotic.
Okay, that's what you call it.
Yes, like nowadays, the little boys like let their pants sag.
I mean, I wouldn't wear that shit you describing, but in watching the movies,
Back then, we didn't see it. That's my point.
that one dude in the Lost Boys who was singing yesterday,
Okay, but back then,
with
did
his
we think
shirt
he was
with his
cool?
shirt off.
I thought he was real cool back then. And back then, I was like, ooh, like I understood why Jamie Gertz was into all of that. I was like, ooh, mm-hmm. Yeah, Jamie. And Jamie, that's when she was the prettiest to me. She looked, her hair was gorgeous. She
Yeah, I
just
was a
looked
big
really
Jamie
good.
Gertz fan. I was a big
But
Jamie Gertz fan.
that whole, like even Prince, I was so in love with Prince. Like I and Eddie Murphy, like I didn't see those pants were tight. Like I didn't even notice. Like I remember the men wearing the biker pants.
When you
That was
look back
just
now at Eddie
very
Murphy and
package
Delirious
friendly.
and Raw, them tight leather
Yes.
outfits.
The whole 80s.
Oh
When
my
you look back
goodness.
at it now, it was very, very homoerotic. And I find that interesting, doubling back to, the whole Walt Whitman thing that, you can still have an American icon and all these years later cut out what was probably most defining about him, his open sexuality. He probably did want to say this to a male because even now, if you're gay, the easiest way probably to hook up is prostitution because it's the society is still so dysfunctional about letting somebody be functioning whatever they want to be, you know, and have you gotta fucking jump through hoops to survive to be in a relationship with the dude or two ladies, So some people want to still say, I can't do that. I didn't even know outing someone was a thing until we did that show, the Divas, and they
Hmm.
accused me of outing or attempting to out one of the cast members. And I was just saying, nigga, bring your ass out the closet because it's killing millions of kids and people all over the world when it doesn't have to be that way. Get married. you
And I
know.
was just saying, man, everybody watching this motherfucking TV show, everybody that know you, everybody that see you, know you a big old sissy.
Can you please use another word? You're
I'm trying. I thought that was a better word than
That's
I had in my
not a
mind.
nice word. I don't think people say that word.
People don't say sissy.
No, I don't think that's on the list.
Fuck.
I think
Okay.
you have to say
Okay. Sugar booty. You just a big old sugar booty. Is that
I'm gonna
acceptable?
have to put a thing on the front of this that says the thoughts of Paula J. Parker do not necessarily coincide with my husband. I love him, y'all, but he is a work in progress. I'm working on it. Sugar Booty is a lot better than all the things I know you want to say.
Okay.
So we're gonna stop there. We're just gonna
All right.
stop. Um, but yeah, I thought I'd start our um our podcast with talking about Walt.
That's interesting, cause you bring up a lot of people I don't really give a shit about,
What
and
about
he's
that?
one of them. But we find a way to speak about and learn about some shit that we can talk about. That's what marriage is. God damn it,
Okay, so
you know. That's what it's
what
all
about
about.
that lady that documentary we watched last night? I convinced
Why?
you to
I
sit
can't.
and
I
watch
can't.
with
I
me.
can't go no further. We got at least. We have to speak about George Floyd. You can't just start talking
Oh,
about
honey,
that
I
white
can't.
bitch
I can't. I
stole
can't.
all the money. Well, can we just at least give some type of recognition that we love him and we
Fine.
appreciate
Until
sacrifice
we
that he's
couldn't
made?
cry anymore.
Because shit is changing. It is sad. It's fucked up. Today is the day of his funeral, his actual funeral in Houston, Texas. And it's like I can't watch that shit. I watched a little bit of the ceremony they had in Minneapolis last week, but it ain't. I just don't feel like being sad, continuously sad like that. So we support from afar and pray for afar, from afar, and let's continue the revolution that has begun.
Let's
Because it is a
continue.
revolution, and it is. I just think it's our responsibility for our podcast. listeners to at least hear that we acknowledge what the hell is going on in the world today. And we can move on. That's it.
No, you
You
done
know.
opened up the dang on box Pandora. Let's go on and talk about it. Let's go on and talk about it. I can't talk about racism anymore. It's like it's a conversation my parents had, my parents' parents had, my parents. How many times do we have to talk about what's black and white right in front of our faces? I mean, it's there, but you can't talk about something with someone who doesn't want to talk about it. It's like a relationship, with a man. If he's not ready to talk or ready to see or ready to acknowledge that he ain't doing right, you can keep talking till you're blue in the face. But until effective change is ready to be made, that's all we're doing is talking till we're blue in the face. Now, I do acknowledge that this is the best protest we've ever had. And I also acknowledge it's because we saw it. You know, we saw it. There's no denying. We saw someone murder someone right before our eyes. And that's what it took for the white nationalists to get on board and make sure that we didn't take this protest back to the hood and destroy our own once again. Because they don't care when we do that. This time, the white folks took the protest to their neighborhoods. And finally, someone is listening. Someone is at least trying to listen. And I can respect that. I I I just don't understand how you can look at the way of the world and not know that it's not balanced and continue to have a closed heart beyond God. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I I do. Sorry, y'all. Forrest is trying to squeeze himself into my fabulous
Studio,
in our closet.
hard ass seats, ass hurting, sitting. All right, I'm just have to
You
reposition
gotta get
myself.
the the
Yeah, a
the
pillow or
thing.
something.
Yeah.
Goddamn it, shit. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Um. So you go ahead. What is? Do you see?
I mean, I'm, I'm all cried out about the shit. We still got the case in Seattle that they killed the kid, killed Breonna Taylor in Kentucky. Bastards murdered my Aubrey in Georgia. They killed the barbecue restaurant owner during a protest in Kentucky last week as well. It's still a lot of shit going down. Still a lot of shit people aren't aware of past George Floyd. But they're going to find out, and we're going to see it, and we're going to learn. After it's just too many cases,
as
and this current right now.
as an actor, I I believe that it's our responsibility to be cautious of the way we portray ourselves in the media. I've always been a fan of the underdog. Let's say females in general, who throughout history have been placed in positions where we have had to use our bodies, prostitution, etc., to survive. So I've always been cautious of the way I played my hoochies. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Um, and in this new world, it is imperative that we have these conversations with our representatives, our agents, and our managers because they need to understand that we as black actors are getting paid far less because you are allowing it to happen because you are white because there aren't many black agents. I can count them on maybe a hand operating black agents. Now there are plenty of black managers, but operating black agencies cost money, and you also have to be delegated in. There are rules and regulations, and I'm talking like $50,000. You can't just go buy space and open up. You got to put $50,000 in a bond to become an agent. Why aren't there more black agents? So I have no choice but to have the man who doesn't see me negotiate for me. I'm just saying. It's time, guys. So, you with me?
I'm down.
You want to smoke a blunt to it?
We will always smoke a blunt to it.
Well, then, let's go.
All right. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap on this episode.
My name is Forrest D. Martin.
And I'm Paula J. Parker. Be easy.
This has been a Hoochie Mama production.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.